Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Live It Up, the show where we explore and discuss how to take your life to that next level and beyond. We're going to cover health, wealth, relationships, and how to create a life you absolutely love. In other words, how to live it up. I'm your host and coach, Fletcher Ellingson. Amy's away today, and so we have a guest on our show later to talk about today's topic. As a reminder, if you have questions that you would like us to address on or off the air, you can send them directly to me at fletcher@fletcherellingson.com. Okay, let's get to today's topic because it's one that I really love. As I've spent time working with people, I've noticed that most people have a desire to live in a way that will make a difference for others. Maybe it's a difference for their family, or maybe it's a difference for the elderly or their community. Maybe it's for animals. Whatever it is, people have a desire to make a difference for others. Another way to look at it is being a blessing. And I love the imagery of being a blessing. If I was to define it, it would be words or actions that display favor, mercy, or benefit, the lifting up or elevating of another. If you're a blessing, it would result in another person feeling empowered or feeling that their load or burden has been lightened in somehow. They would feel noticed for and cared for. They would feel like a difference has been made for them. And when you're a blessing to others, it's a win-win situation. They feel good, you feel good, and likely you'll have set off a chain reaction of blessings. I'll give you an example. I was up in Fairbanks, Alaska, a few years ago on a business trip. And I was there staying in a hotel. I'd gone to the grocery store that morning to get my green Odwalla drink. And I was in line. I was the second person in line. The person in front of me was being rung up. And he looked back at me, saw my Odwalla, grabbed the Odwalla, swiped it across the scanner, handed it back to me and said, "Have a great day." I was so blown away by that. I'll never forget it. It was just such a random act of kindness. Later that night, and this is where it gets really cool, is that I went back to that same grocery store. The same checker was there. I was up there this time getting wrung out. I had a meal that I was going to take back to my hotel room. I looked back. There was a guy who also had a meal. Looked like he was getting something to go. And I grabbed his meal, swiped it across the scanner, handed it back to him and said, "Have a great night." He was in turn floored and just like, "Whoa, thanks. That was so cool." So, what happened in the morning had this ripple effect in the evening. And what I love about the story, it was the same checker. So he was just like, "What is going on here?" He just thought that was so cool. So sometimes when I work with people, it's clear that they want to be a blessing, but they're not quite sure, or they may be waiting for a specific time in their life when they can. They may be waiting to be less busy, or when they have more money, or when they get out of college, or more experience. But I want to remind you that tomorrow's not promised, and you can be a blessing right now. You don't have to have money to be a blessing. You can volunteer time. And if you don't have extra time, you can make a phone call and bless someone with your words simply by acknowledging them for who they are to you. You can appreciate them just out of the blue. You don't have to wait for a birthday or Father's Day. You could just call them up or send someone an email, or better yet, send someone an actual letter in the mail. What a cool surprise to get an actual mail that's not a bill, but a letter of love and connection. And if you don't have time for that, hold the door open for somebody. Take their shopping cart back. Let somebody go in front of you in line. There's so many ways to be a blessing. And today we're going to talk with somebody who is being a blessing in the community of Chelan. I want you to hear her story. It's very inspiring. So stay with us right here and come on back to Live It Up.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to LocalTel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Live It Up. We are talking about being a blessing today, and we're here with Sarah Barnes. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Sarah is from the Chelan School District, right?
Right.
All right, cool. Tell us a little bit about your position there at the Chelan School District. What do you do?
Well, I'm a school and community liaison, and that just means that I help connect at-risk students to community resources, come in crisis, just anything I can do to decrease stress and help them have a better experience at school, K-12.
Is that a new position? Because I haven't heard about it.
It is. I believe I was hired in 2010,
Okay.
and
So you've been there for almost 18 or 8 years.
yes.
Okay.
Before that, I worked as a teacher, and I've also been a tutor, and been involved in the Valley with youth ministry. So I came from a lot of different backgrounds, and taught in Manson as well.
Was this a position that you wanted to create, or was this something that the school district came to you with?
They posted the position,
Oh, cool.
but I had already been doing a lot of the work as a volunteer.
Okay, great. Well, so we're talking about being a blessing today, as I talked about earlier. And the reason I asked you here is because I heard about your work, and I thought, very cool, sounds unique, and it sounds from the people I've talked with anyways that it's really making a difference for other people. And so tell us a little bit, tell us about the vision that you had for this, first of all.
Well, as a teacher and as someone that's worked with teenagers my whole life since the 90s, I started being more drawn to hurting kids and becoming more aware of all these problems of homelessness, hunger, grief, addiction, lots of problems. And I started asking around in the Valley of what resources existed with churches, with nonprofits, and really not finding that there was enough solutions and enough energy being put toward helping kids through some of those issues. So I just felt like that was a real need and needed some leadership.
Yeah, so you saw a need, stepped up and took action.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah. I always tell the people that I work with, knowledge is not enough, right? I mean, knowledge is interesting, but without action, you're not going to get any results.
Yeah.
So you saw the need, took action, and you're getting results. So you stepped into action and you created a mentor program.
Well, it's a longer story than that. After I stopped being really sad about some of the stories and the kids that I worked with, and I just didn't know how to help, I received a donation one day. I'm kind of a person of faith, and I had prayed this kind of private prayer and said, hey, God, give me a sign if I'm supposed to help hurting kids and move out of the field of teaching. A week later, I received a check for $5,000, and that was pretty weird. But I started using that money. I started trying to find people. I knew I wasn't the only one that cared. I just didn't know who my people were and had to find my tribe. So I started talking to people, talking about the problems I saw. That work kind of started in a church, but it moved toward a nonprofit. And we started a nonprofit and we lived under Chelan Valley Hope for a while. And then we joined with the Teen Center, and I found Jackie DePauli and Travis Farrar and all these great people, Cindy Knight, and that evolved into a nonprofit called Thrive Chelan Valley, and we exist to serve youth and help them reach their full potential in Chelan and Manson.
Yeah, a great organization. I'm familiar with it. They're doing really cool work.
Yeah.
Now, where did you, and then you developed a mentor program, correct?
Yeah, sorry. So we run the Teen Center. We have an immediate needs fund that helps kids in crisis with basic needs, dignity items, clothing, food, those kind of things. And then I run a peer mentoring program in Chelan schools and started the adult mentoring program. We launched that in September.
Nice. And tell me about what were some of the action steps that you had to take personally to get this going? Because I'm sure it didn't just all fall together like that. There must have been some things you had to do and maybe some obstacles that you had to overcome?
Oh yeah. Well, we've experienced a lot of growth as a board. So I had to convince our board that this was a worthy step. And it's a big step because it involves liability insurance and hiring a director and budgetary needs and lots of planning. We had to build a real solid foundation. I had to form a team. I wondered if I would find people as passionate as I was, but I found people more talented and more passionate than I am and really talented. So I get to work in very good teams of people.
Great. So you got your team together, and then the idea is to match children, our youth, with adults in the community.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So, and how has that gone?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the response from adults who are willing to get involved?
Well, it's been an overwhelming positive response. We've had a lot of support. We had a goal of 25 matches this year, and we've exceeded that. And so now we're shooting for about 60 matches in the Valley
Wow.
next year. And I really have a big dream. I really want us to be the most mentored valley in the United States.
Wow, I love that. That's exciting.
Thanks, I do too, because you know, you see protests and you see criticisms, and our country and our nation are pretty divided and pretty polarized right now. But we just believe that you can change the world one life at a time. And so the stories coming in are really fun to hear. And you know, this show's called Being a Blessing, but the blessing is these mentors. So I can get to my story and what brought me to this, but I'm really indebted, and all of Thrive and the school districts are really indebted to all these people who step up and serve and volunteer.
Yeah, so you just got to, sounds like you have a fantastic team working with you.
We do.
Yeah, and when did you officially launch it? Was it this year?
September.
September, okay, so we're about 6 months into it? Okay, and it's going well. Can you share with us a success story that you've got?
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to sift through all of them. We've been hearing, you know, kids that have learned to ride a bike for the first time. You just all these really neat things. But one
That one in itself is pretty cool, because we're talking about high school. Is it high school age kids?
10 to 15 years old is our target.
10 to 15 years old.
Yes.
Okay. So somebody in that age range learning to ride a bike, because typically we learn really early on. So
Right.
I'm just trying to imagine that. That must have been like so cool for that mentor and mentee to have that experience together.
I
riding
know.
a
I
bike.
wish they were here.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. What else?
Well, you know, I met a guy that he's retired from the Seattle Police Department, the FBI. He's got a lot of time on his hands. He was kind of lacking purpose. His wife works, and he just thought, what am I doing? He doesn't have any children of his own, and he wanted to be a mentor for us. So then I meet a kid that I work with, and he'd been in trouble with the law, really struggling with failing grades. You know, has never really lived with either of his parents. So I said, hey, how would you feel about having a mentor? And he said, sure, I'm down. And so we matched him, and all this kid wants to do is become a police officer. It's all he wants to do. So it's just been so neat. And so the blessing for the adult is, he said, for 30 years I threw kids in jail, and I wished that I could have gotten to him because I knew that I could help him, but all I could do was throw him in jail. And now I'm able to help this student. And for the student, he's brought his grades up. He has a learning plan to become a police officer.
Wow.
He's, you know, working on doing ride-alongs, and just, it's fantastic.
That is exciting. And just like we were talking about earlier, when you're a blessing or experience a blessing, it's a win-win situation, and there is a ripple effect. So we're going to hear more about that ripple effect in just a minute. We're going to take a short break and then be back with one of the mentees who's going to tell us a little bit about how this program has affected him. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Is your vehicle in need of a quick oil change or tune-up before hitting the road this summer? Stop by Quick Lube and Tune, the home of the good guys at 610 South Wenatchee Avenue.
Welcome back to Live It Up. We are here with Sarah Barnes and Mario Gonzalez. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Mario Gonzalez is part of the Mentor-Mentee program at the Chelan District that Sarah Barnes has been helped set up there. And so I just got a few questions for you, Mario.
Yeah.
First of all, how old are you?
So I'm 17. I'm going to be a senior.
You're going to be a senior?
Yes.
All right, cool. And you're part of the Mentor-Mentee program?
Yes, I've been part of the program for about 3 months now.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get right to it. How has it been for you?
So it's, I think it really created a chance for me. So a couple of years back, I lost my mom. So by reaching out to Mrs. Barnes and all the counselors, I got a mentor, and she almost fulfills that spot that I needed. Like, she plays a role in a mom, and she helps me, and she supports me, and it's been great.
Well, that's got to feel really good, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So can you tell me what kind of things do you do with your mentor?
So I do anything from grocery shopping. It's any mom thing.
Mm-hmm.
She helps me get money anywhere I need it. Supports me when I'm in a bad place, or basically just a mom figure, and she really supports me.
Okay, so you guys it's someone you can hang out with,
Yeah.
talk with,
Yes.
and trust,
Yeah.
and nice. Yeah, so you're glad you did it.
Yes, it's been the best thing ever.
Cool. Well, if there were other kids out there who thought, that sounds cool, would you recommend?
Yeah, I would totally recommend it.
Okay, right on. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and feel free to add anything if anything else comes to mind. What other sorts of things do these mentors and mentees do together? What kind of activities, or what's the time spent doing?
Well, thanks to Schlandman up in our neck of the woods, every pair gets $100 to spend. So we just encourage them to do whatever they like. The key to this program is having mentors and mentees that have common interests.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hearing stories. One pair met up at Disneyland.
Wow.
They didn't take the trip together. Concerts, going to sporting events, having lunch, having coffee, snowshoeing, drawing, whatever they love to do.
Oh, yeah, okay. And is it a year-long process? Is that what it is?
Yes, we do ask for a minimum of a year commitment,
Yeah.
and 4 hours a month to spend
And 4
with their
hours a
mentee.
month?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mario, every month you're spending at least 4 hours a month
Yes.
with your mentor.
So for me, it's mostly every other day, since we live close, and
Oh,
it's just
okay.
in Chelan Valley, so I almost see her every day.
Wow, that's pretty special.
Yeah, that is.
That's really cool. Okay. Hey, are other schools doing this?
Not that I know of. I guess I can't speak to that too much. I know that there are a lot of mentoring programs like Big Brother, Big Sister. We follow a couple other programs in Oklahoma, and mentoring is definitely popular nationally, and recognized as a very effective way. The data is undeniable about lowering depression, lowering suicide, lowering drug and alcohol use, increasing satisfaction, and I think the unique thing that we have going on in the Chelan Valley is the partnership. We are really strong partners with Lake Chelan School District and Manson School District, and our director works out of the school a couple days a week. The referrals and the matches have the help of the counseling staff, and so there's just a continual exchange of information and connection, and I really feel like that's what makes it work.
Gotcha.
Or even seeing mentors meet with counselors with their mentee to
Wow.
determine career paths and things like that.
Wow, that's significant.
Yeah, I feel like that's our X factor.
Yeah. And was that something that you envisioned happening, or did that just kind of naturally evolve out of it?
Well, yes, I envisioned it because I'm a school and community liaison. So what I see is we have all these resources in our community and kids in need. And so I try to bring the resources of community to the kids. And so I created this program as a way to help me do my job. I didn't mention before that these are some of the best moments of my life. That's why I wanted to do the program. The first time I ever took a girl out to breakfast and spent $20, I thought that's the best $20 I've ever spent.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
would-
trying to multiply that capacity.
I was just going to ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fulfilling how fulfilling is this? How does it make you feel?
Well, awesome to see the dream and the vision that took me years and others years to actually implement. I have a lot of joy from hearing these stories. It's a little sad at times because I'm not mentoring myself right now. I realized that I needed to shift my role to a capacity building, multiplying the impact and the fulfilling relationship I'd been able to have to extend that to other people.
Gotcha.
Consequently, I'm not mentoring yet.
Yeah. Now, when you say you envision this expanding in the Valley, is this something you envision like bringing to other schools or helping them set up? Tell me a little bit about that.
I think that would be a wonderful thing to do, and we have kept that in the back of our mind. I mean, having Thrive Chelan Valley and a nonprofit that steps in, we're getting kids to camp, we're feeding them, it's just such a wonderful solution for rural areas particularly, and to connect the community to the students. So I think it should be in every town in America. And we're building our foundation.
Yeah.
And we are very open to it being replicated, but we've just been really busy building it ourselves.
Well, a lot of people will be seeing this and hearing this, so if they're inspired and have that kind of a similar vision, is there a way that they can get in touch with you?
Yeah, go to our website, www.thrivechelanvalley.com.
www.thrivechelanvalley.com. Okay.
Or you can reach out to me. My email is barnes@chelanschools.org, and we'll put you in touch with the right people.
Okay, cool. And did you have a quote that you wanted to share, Sarah?
Well, Mario, I talked to your mentor yesterday.
Oh, really?
And I just kind of asked what this has been like for her, and she said, Mario is a great kid, and I see amazing things happening to him. When I hear about him getting scholarships and awards, getting his first job, and planning for college, I know I get as much or more out of his accomplishments as he does. I enjoy spending time with him and doing simple things like grocery shopping and teaching him how to cook. We have a bond that words can't express, and just seeing his face is all the motivation I need. So thank you for being a blessing to your mentor.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
And that's a great way to end the show here. Folks, it's time to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, get out there, be a source of kindness, be a source of contribution. You have something to offer this world. You matter, and I believe in you.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.